Power Lover. This is about the mystery of what we called. So I remember I've read you have also advised many times to Mandali who lived on the hill, Mehrabad, that close your windows and don't open the windows at night even if you hear knocking. And you said there are ghosts and there are people who wants to come. So can you talk a little bit about who are the ghosts, what they are, why they exist the way they exist, why they bother human beings, and also sometimes they possess human beings. How do you heal them, or how do you dispossess human being from possession of the ghosts? So can you talk in general about ghosts?
A soul's journey in the physical form is all about the five senses. For whatever reason, I explained that if you commit suicide, you are neither in this world nor the other. You land up in a space from where you have to understand the repercussions of doing what you have done, because that's not something which you had to be in control of, right? So you have shortened your life by understanding and reasoning. Sometimes you're compelled to do that, right? So you're not in the right frame of your mind or whatever. So you've shortened your journey. Now when you do that, you land up in a space of astral world from where it is very easy for the soul to communicate, or very easy to be in touch with souls in physical body, correct? And because they have unfulfilled desires, or sometimes they still want to have that continuation, or they want to have a closure to what you can achieve through the five senses, right? That is where they want to draw the attention of other souls, and they will target souls who are very vulnerable, right?
Vulnerable and weak.
Vulnerable and weak, yes. So they will target those kind of souls. They will try to possess their mind, which means that at the mind level you need to be very strong and resilient, correct? So they will try to work on them and try and fulfill their needs and their desires. It's as simple as that. Now in saying that, sometimes you may have souls just want to finish that. They want to bring a closure to what was left unfulfilled, correct? And they might not be very vicious, or they may not want to be causing a lot of damage, because the experience they have gone through has not been very volatile on them, right? But they feel that they want a closure. There could also be situations where sometimes people are murdered, and they've not had a closure, correct?
Even accidents.
Accidents,
Unnatural,
yes.
untimely
Untimely accidents could have
deaths.
happened. Now sometimes that could happen because of some group karmic cycles that you have been in, correct? So they are very unsatisfied, and they are the ones who can really create a lot of havoc and damage, because they feel that it has not been fair on them in their journey, right? And that's when they will try to capture minds who are very, very weak. Now in saying that, why do we encourage? If you see, there is a science behind everything. When we pray, even when you go to a temple or a church, you have the incense, you have the ringing of the bells, right?
Diya.
The diya.
The candles, yeah.
So all these things actually puts them away. They are not able to take that natural light or that natural fragrance. It disturbs them. It stops them from reaching out to what they want to do. Correct. So it is really important to have a very clean environment, right? Cleansing has to be done. Clutter has to be removed from your home, right? It is very important, because you can't be in an environment which is not neat and clean for your own protection, isn't it? If you have garbage, then that garbage will stink, and that doesn't work for you. So what you do, you get rid of the garbage time and again, right? Periodically you clean your garbage, you throw it out, you clean your home, so on and so forth. So all these things, these rituals, they really matter. And when I've also experienced, I've had when I in human form, I've had a lot of souls who were around me wanting to have a quick um, a
Closure,
closure or a mukti.
mukti,
Yeah,
relief.
a relief, yeah, and they want to move on. So sometimes I worked with them, sometimes I didn't work with them because that soul's journey, even in the astral world, had to come to an end, right? So in saying that, yes, they can have the power to possess, and that is why they say that um, even when you're traveling in the night or you're on a journey, make sure that you're not in very in environments where they can exist, because they are very willing and ready uh, to take you over, and it's not difficult to do that. It's not at all difficult. But then, in saying, if you have your immunity, you are in very strong environment of getting yourself, protecting yourself in whatever way, then the possibility of them attacking you is less. And they also exist in very very spiritual environments, mind you, right? They are always there. They are always there, one, not because they want to create great havoc, they just want a closure for their own betterment, right? Now, in saying that, they sometimes align with very very low energies. They will align with people who are into tantric prayers, right? There are individuals who have that power. They can um, through a very different mediumship, they can contact these souls, right? And then they use those souls for getting a lot of relief for others. They can also use them for doing black magic, and that happens all the time. So it is very important that you keep your own space and environment very neat and clean. You keep away from all those forces, and they exist. They will exist because if there is Maya, this is also negative Maya, isn't it? So it is very much part of my own creation, and they are everywhere. They are also there, very close to my samadhi. They are existing everywhere. Some can see because they are more receptive, and some cannot. But then, in saying that, each one of us know how to build our own immunity, isn't it? And to protect our own self.
So you mean to say these ghosts do have power to possess and impact and take over the mind of physically human beings?
Yes, they can, definitely. And
How do they do that?
They can't do it where there is lot of population, where there is light. It doesn't agree with that. It doesn't agree with the formless body that they have in the astral world, right? So they're not able to take that bright light and energy. They will exist where there's darkness, where they are in the same environment. And when they are in that same environment, obviously they are more at work and more at power to take over very vulnerable minds, right?
And how do they take over the vulnerable minds?
They can start working on your psyche, from trying to make you more happy. They can start working on your mind where you don't think you are the kind of person you are. It saps your energy, and you'll feel it for your own self that you're not your own self, right? And many a times, lots of things that you really don't do, you start moving in that direction, right? But in saying that, it's very far and few. It doesn't happen all the time. So one really doesn't need to be worried. But yeah, you need to be on your guard.
So basically, they can influence your mind and therefore influence your behavior.
Correct.
And they do it for their own pleasure.
They do it for their own, to get their own mukti or salvation from the environment that they are in. So, you're like, when you're really desperate, you go to any means to probably do something, isn't it? It's like saying, sometimes you hear of cases where, real sheer poverty, you don't know how to feed your children. What do? you go and steal, you do things that are really out of your mind and control, right? Because you are put in such a situation. Not that you want to do it, but you want a respite, right?
So they do it because of their own compulsions.
Their own compulsions, yes.
And how do those healers, ojhas as they call it in the villages, the healers, and how do they work to get rid of such possessed souls?
See, they are well versed in that science, right? They are like mediums. So they have that power. Uh, they have that power to reach out to them, make conversation with them, right? So through the energy or the power or the skill or the knowledge that they have, the science that they hold or they have studied, or they are able to make that communication. They can communicate, and then they are audio ones, or they are clairvoyants, so they can see, they can hear, they can communicate at that mediumship level, and then they can bring in that healing and that calming, or sometimes they are at a very different level where they get that message what that restless soul wants, right? So then they
Try and solve that
they do that problem solving for them,
yeah.
and relieve them.
So basically, it's a communication that the healers do with the soul,
Yes.
ghost soul,
Yes.
and in the conversation, they convince them to leave this possessed person
Yes.
and try and solve their issues.
Yes. See, sometimes also we do believe in that science of some ritualistic prayers after the soul has passed on, right? Every religion believes in that. Even though the soul has moved on, it is still very much tied and hankers to be around their loved ones, or come back into a body, because they feel distressed, right? That depending on how they have passed on, so they are still in that lower astral world for those couple of days, as it has been explained, right? So we have that 40 days of prayers, even in Christianity, even in Hindu religion, we have
11 or 13 days.
13 days. Then we have the 1 month prayer. So it is basically to make them feel that yes, we remember you. We do everything that we need to help you to move on. Yeah. So it is important. It's not that there is no significance to what we do. Every prayer, every religion has a way of bringing a closure, or having a ceremony.
Yep.
So one must do that, as much as you can. You should do it. You should do it for the departed soul, because that departed soul had a very fulfilled life, whatever, as like anybody else, and it wants to see that journey in that physical form was not a waste, right? So they have put in their hard yards. They have worked for their family, for their children, so on and so forth. Whatever they have done, they need to feel that their journey in that physical form, that soul's journey, did not go waste. It's as simple as that.
So if they are not satisfied, then they can be the ghost. Is that what you're saying? Or they could act like the ghost?
I'm not saying they will be ghost, but they will not have a closure.
And
so they will always be around. They will always want something from the family.
And they will haunt them.
Yeah, you may not feel it, but then you'll feel that things are not going right. Sometimes when when the soul has a complete closure, they feel that okay, if something is not working for that family, they open the doors for that family.
Right.
They do that. So suddenly you will feel there is
so much of blessings
coming in. You'll feel that suddenly luck factor opens up, because they feel fulfilled. They feel that yes, my family members or whatever, their close friends, they even work with their own close friends. Everybody that has been part of their journey, suddenly they do a very eureka moment comes in. Because they can work. Of course they can do that.
Favor.
Of course they can work in favor with their own gurus, with their own masters. They can do a trade-off. There's a whole science behind it. They can say to their masters and gurus that yes, please help my family, they've been struggling, please open the doors for them,
Hmm.
and reward them for how blessed I was to be part of that family or that journey, so please help them out. And it can also work the other way around.
If they're dissatisfied, they can actually
Yeah, correct.
harm you
Correct.
and put a lot of bottleneck, and that's why you see that things are not moving. A lot of urchin,
Yes.
a lot of negativity is coming.
Yes.
Things are doors are
Correct.
not opening.
Correct.
Unluck
Correct.
factors are coming
Correct,
in. So
yeah.
it works both ways.
It works both ways.
So
Correct.
that's what you're saying. For the departed souls, we must always do prayers, rituals, thank them.
Yeah, it's not that you become so obsessed by being ritualistic, Yes, remembrance is very important, isn't it?
Yes. We all remember, like we remember Baba.
Yes.
You're not in the physical form, but we always
Absolutely,
remember you.
absolutely.
Similarly, for our own parents,
Yes.
our seniors who departed, our ancestors. So that's the reason once in a year there's a Pitru Paksh before the Navratri.
So true. There's a whole world that exists not in physical form, Yeah, because as I said, some souls may take a rebirth immediately, some souls may be,
Still existing.
yeah, I mean, for if you want to put it in numbers from earth, yeah, maybe say 100 years and more, right?
Mhm.
So they still exist. The soul may not take a birth right away. They can be spiritual workers.
So that's what you're saying, that in those Pitru Paksh, that one fortnight, we all pray to our ancestors and thank them, and
Yeah, that is a annual thing that you can do. You can always remember them, right? You can always
even otherwise.
otherwise also
Yeah.
remember your departed souls and feel happy and remember them in a nice way, and all the goodness that they've done for you, all the trouble they've taken for you. So they feel,
So if suppose, I'm just giving you an example, suppose we keep a photo of our, say, father who is departed. Now we remember the father and say thank you, but we don't know whether the father has been reborn again. But in the event that the father has been reborn, but we don't know that, we continue to have the image and pray to them. So where does those prayers go? When the father has got rebirth, but still we are praying to their photographs and remembering.
yeah, so even if your father has taken a rebirth, it doesn't really matter. For you, in your journey, you're still connected to that soul as a father, right? So you are still remembering that soul.
Right.
Right. So there's nothing wrong with that remembrance.
Yeah.
Correct. You don't lose anything, you only gain. Right. So when you do that, you gain good brownie points, isn't it? You feel good for your own self.
Correct.
That I'm remembering my father who did this for me.
Right.
Regardless of whether the soul has taken rebirth or not. So when we say remember your ancestors, it's not about the ancestor may have moved on. Rightfully, yes. Correct. The ancestor has moved on. You have no connect with that ancestor anymore. But then in saying that, if you have to get aligned with that ancestor, you may get connected with them in their next birth, if any. You got it?
I got it. But I always thought that if the ancestor has been reborn and yet we continue to pray to our fathers and the mothers who are departed, I always thought that still their representative in the astral world gets those prayers, because when it's like a relay race, that when the parents leave the astral world and gets reborn, they leave their responsibility to someone like a power of attorney who continues to hold and receive those prayers.
Absolutely correct. So their masters and gurus will work with you. Correct. I totally agree with that. But as you're saying that relay, if you're supposed to be part of that journey, then you will again get reconnected with those souls.
So
as
both
a
ways.
grandchild, grandparent, friend,
So
whatever. It works both ways.
So basically we are saying either way nothing is lost. Our love and affection that we show to our ancestors and
Yes, absolutely.
father and mother who departed.
Absolutely. Why have I said that when I come back 700 years from now? Right? There'll be many Baba souls, many Baba lovers who will be reconnected with me. Isn't it? In 700 years, you could have 7 births or 20 births, right? And you may still not know me in those 700 years, to just put it from the earth point of view, right? So just to put a figure, like if I'm coming back on earth, say 700 years from now, that is not lost, right? But if that string is not snapped, if you're still connected, then you will be very much part of that journey.
So basically, to summarize, if we pray to our ancestors, departed parents and grandparents, then irrespective of whether they are in the astral world or they have been reborn, our prayers still reach to either them or to their representatives in the astral world, who could be their guru and guides. And therefore, the benefit of praying to them continues to accrue
Correct.
to us, and therefore we should continue, remembering and praying and
Correct.
giving positive
See, in
messages.
short, it is all about goodness, isn't it? You don't know what if you were born in Europe last birth, and your ancestral lineage was completely different from where you are born this time.
Right,
So different ancestral lineage, right? You don't know.
right.
You don't know. But it's all about remembrance, right? It's not about intermingling of those ancestors. It's not going to happen, or it may also happen. For
Right.
example, if your parent has, say, born in an Asian country, right? But if you still have that connect, right? You may continue your journey. So we really don't know about our ancestral lineage, but what you remember is the goodness that has come to you, touched you, and you have felt it birth after birth, right? So it's all about, it's only in physical form that you can remember through your 5 senses, and you can have that experience, isn't it? So you would like to continue that
Okay.
as much as you can remember, and as much as you can repay back by your remembrance.
So maybe you want to summarize. We started with ghost, but then we went to departed souls. So maybe you can
Yeah, so
integrate.
ghosts do exist. We always have the good and the bad elements existing around us. We know what to pick and choose, right? So we should also have the intelligence to protect ourselves. And our scriptures, everywhere it is said how you can protect yourself. Stay positive, keep away from negative environments, negative forces, which sap your energies. Do the little rituals that you know of or you hear of, isn't it? So all these things will keep negative energy at bay. It's basically negative energy at the end of the day, isn't it? So you should be able to keep those negative energies at bay, even if you are around very spiritual places. As I said, they exist. All you do is keep chanting the name of your guru and your lord, right? And keep saying, give me protection, protect me. So don't be in dark negative environments. As much as you can avoid, and give yourself that protection.
Right. So you're saying bad ghosts can be fought with good spirit souls.
Yeah, absolutely.
So therefore, when you pray, then the good positive
Yeah, when you
souls.
pray, you remember your masters, your gurus, you align with them, your guiding angels, they all protect you.
So that's why we say that, they always say when you're traveling at night and you have to go in the field, you say Ram Ram, and then,
Yeah, anything that works for you to, have that protection.
So basically, when you say Jai Baba,
Absolutely.
then Baba actually connects
Correct.
and keeps the bad ghost away from you.
Correct, absolutely.
Yeah, we have our own experience, so maybe that will keep it for some other day.
Yes.
But I know that when ghosts had attacked us either in the dream and sleeping time, so we prayed to Baba, and Baba, we know how you immediately came and protected us, and those ghosts never bothered us after that.
Yes, because if you're a strong medium, you're an open medium. So they will like to get benefit out of you, isn't it? So that's when you have to make yourself very strong, very resilient, continuously hold on to my Daman is what? One of the ways of holding on to my Daman is keep chanting my name, isn't it? That's the easiest way. Keep remembering me, keep having my name on your lips, That is how you hold on to my daman. There's no physical daman to hold on, correct?
Right. So when we hold on to your daman, then the ghosts are also kept away. Because
Yeah, correct.
Baba and Baba's energy and
Yes,
source
absolutely.
gives us
Absolutely,
the
yes.
protective shield.
Correct.
So Baba's energy protects us
Even
from
at the samadhi, there is a timing from when you're there, when the samadhi closes. You see, and I'm doing my universal work. I'm also working with those energies there. I'm also giving those energies, those negative energies, those souls a lot of respite from where I work. So they do exist. They will exist. But it is up to us how much understanding we have and how well we can protect ourselves.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. That was a good sermon. Thank you, Baba.
Yeah, so on that note, Baba loves you all. Stay happy, positive, cheerful. With the end of another year, look forward to the new year with ushering with good positivity. And all that comes when you yourself stay happy and cheerful. There's no guarantee there will not be dark days, but then dark days can also be handled with being very positive and accepting whatever comes your way, happily and smiling, but at the same time giving resistance to what you don't want to be or you don't want to accept, which does not align with you. So it works both ways. So enjoy the festive season, keep safe, and I'm always with you and will always continue to be with you forever.
Thank you, Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.